So, most anime characters that people cosplay have hair. And when cosplaying anime characters, it's really good to get the hair right. So there's three ways you can do this. Either you can use your natural hair, you can buy a wig, or you can dye it. There's not a lot to say about using your natural hair, and I have no personal experience with wigs, so I can't talk about that. But the thing that I know a little bit about is hair dye. So there are mainly two ways you can dye your hair. You can either use hair dye that you just wash out afterwards, or semi-permanent hair dye, or permanent hair dye. So with the hair dye that you just put in and wash out, like the ones you get on spray cans or hard dyes, your hair will most likely get a little bit stiff and look slightly unnatural. So it's not really a good thing if you want to have natural looking hair. And then you have actually dyeing your hair. And remember that when you first dye your hair, you can't really go back. So if you like your natural hair, or you're not sure about dyeing it, I would recommend just buying a wig instead and then trying to figure out that. Because when you have dyed your hair, it's too late to go back on it. You can always try to dye it back, but that can be really hard. Sorry. So when you're dyeing your hair, you can... I think the easiest hair colors to dye are the natural hair colors, like brown, black, and to some degree blonde. But remember, you should always dye your hair a good time before you're going to do your cosplay, because it might not come out the way you want it to be. So it's better to just take your time and then wait so that you can re-dye it until the day you actually need it to be perfect. If you've never dyed your hair before yourself, especially with bleaching, I would recommend going to a professional hairdresser, because it's a better chance of actually getting something close to what you wanted. When it comes to dyeing your hair in weird colors like blue, green, pink, you should also go to professional if you haven't done this before. And side note, if you want to dye your hair silver or white, I would recommend not doing that, because it will most likely fry your hair, because that involves a lot of bleaching. So silver and white hair colors, it's best to try to get a wig. But if you don't want to go to a hairdresser and get your hair dyed pink, green, blue, whatever, I can try to give you some tips about how you do it at home. First, even if you are naturally platina blonde, you should bleach your hair a tiny bit. Like, I would recommend, if you're not platina blonde, I would recommend getting your hair something like this blonde, or lighter. And the reason why you have to bleach it even if you're blonde is that it helps the color to stick to your hair when it's freshly bleached. If you're blonde and you don't bleach your hair, it will most likely wash out faster than if you had bleached your hair a little bit. And if you have dark hair, it will take a couple of bleachings, depending on how dark your hair is, until it will be blonde, so that you will get a really strong color. Because if bleaching isn't done right, you can get a totally different color than what you wanted. Like the first time I dyed my hair pink, it turned out bright orange because it hadn't been bleached enough, so stuff happens. There's a lot more to say about the dyeing itself, because it depends a lot on what kind of hair dye you use and stuff. So just follow the instruction. I could give you advice on manic panic, but I don't want to do this in this video, because there's a lot more hair dye for oddly colored hair than just manic panic and stargazer and all that. But maintaining a hair color like this can be a little bit difficult. because these kind of hair colors are really easy to wash out. So when you're showering, you should be careful to not wash your hair in really hot water, and also when using shampoo, it will also faster fade. So be careful and try your best at maintaining the hair. And yeah, if you have any questions, just ask me, because it's late and I should be sleeping now and not making videos. Sorry. Bye bye.